scared me when I saw pictures of New York and everybody in New York. Why would everyone want to wear a mask the rest of their lives?
I posted a sign. I went to the Trump rally in Miami last Sunday night.
Oh.
And I've been posting a lot of stuff to try and stay positive in things. And so people are asking me, like, how are you staying positive? Well, because I'm not watching these news things. And these people, we know there's a bigger plan. We knew there was going to be friction. We knew that. So
months ago, we knew this months ago. We didn't know exactly how it was going to roll out.
Mm-hmm.
But I have screenshots of Trump saying either like 6 months ago how things were going to go out, building everything around what he's been doing the last 6 months around dealing with this when it happens. And of course, the mainstream media, which we all know this, they're corrupted, Illuminati, they don't want Trump. So they're pushing across this narrative that he's lost and that's it. You know, well, they're welcome to do that.
I put a message on Facebook last night that it wouldn't surprise me that if even 10% of what I've seen in the past year or so is remotely true, then all these people can be leaning against this one guy, Trump, because their names are in these pedophile rings and things like that, or in Hillary's laptop or stuff like that. Like there's big people who know that there's bad things about to happen to them.
Exactly.
So they're fighting for their lives. And Cryon's been saying for years that the evil is gonna fight. The darkness is gonna fight with everything it has to stay. So I'm actually really excited because I feel the energy on Earth changing, like since like 2 weeks ago, or when I started getting mouthy on Facebook. And
that's what I wanted to ask you. I said, what's come over my girl?
Well, you know, I didn't realize, and I'm doing it publicly too, which has, since I've been 10 years old, I'm terrified to be seen in public. But for some reason, the past 2.5 weeks, I'm like, whatever. This is not me. I mean, it is me, but I just was like, but Cindy got blocked and I didn't know she got blocked. So I said, oh, that energy must be channeling through me now because I haven't shut up. But I'm trying to make peace. I'm trying to make bridges. And what I found interesting, besides realizing that people actually read my posts once in a while, is that Democrats are sharing and Republicans are sharing because neither one of them knew who I was really talking about.
Yeah, you were very neutral and you were very and then, like you said, about 2 weeks ago, something kind of snapped. I was curious if there was something that happened. Was it a rally? Was it something that just said, you know, I just can't sit back anymore?
I don't like injustice, and I see people picking on each other, and I didn't see anybody talking about the Hunter Biden stuff. And so I thought, well, maybe they don't know, or maybe, you know, I don't have kids I'm going to embarrass. My family is not on Facebook. Most of my good friends are not on Facebook. So I'm like, who am I afraid of? So I figured I would put some stuff out there and risk being a fool or a failure. That's an Aries trait, right?
Exactly. Good point.
So I started putting stuff out there, but I also wanted to say, okay, here's some crap. So you guys chill out a little bit, but here's some bridge. Look, can't we get together on these topics? Can we come together because we both want to bless who's working for humanity. We both want to, you know, allow the good to come into our life. But the Biden people, man, they're calling me today. Oh, are you happy now? You're going to have to get vaccines. You're going to get this. And I said, well, where'd you hear that? The New York Times. I said, the New York Times is not an authority. And this went, well, they're not an authority either. I said, but I'm happy today and you're happy today. So isn't that a great thing? But he wouldn't stop digging and digging and digging. And I said, you know what, this conversation is really, you know, I thought you were going to be in a good mood and you're not in a good mood. You think you've won and you're not in a good mood. You're talking over me. This is unpleasant. And he ended up hanging up on me, I think because he couldn't get me riled up. It feels odd. It feels odd not to be able to get riled up, but I feel bad for these people.
What I want to do is, because I feel bad too for everyone, because the Biden people think they won and they're not going to.
And they're being mean, and they're still spreading hate and fear. You can't please these people.
So I was telling the other guys a couple of minutes ago that I have like a group of 12 that sent information to me, and I always share information. And so I sent an invitation to this group of 12. I didn't really think about it. Friendly, non-friendly. Woo. Get over it. What the F? What is the matter with you? Grow up, accept that you've lost. It's like,
right.
Wow.
I stepped in a hornet's nest the other day. My ex-boyfriend from half a life ago, he was an economist with the IMF. He's retired now. And so he had some stream going on, and someone was complaining about something. And I said, what was so bad about the past 4 years? And they were like, what? We don't know where to start and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I've been asking people for months, why do you want to vote for Biden? They don't tell me that. They just say why they hate Trump. I'm like, yeah, he seems like an ass, but I think he's getting some stuff done. But why do you like Biden? And they can't say. And so I stepped in a hornet's nest because the group of people I was talking to were all Democrats from DC, heavily Democrat, and they just lost it. And one of them went to my site, and the picture I have about the Biden's laptop matters, they took a picture of that plus my lovely commentary I had written. It was very peaceful, and they stuck it on there, and they said, she's a Q idiot or Q something. I don't know the word they used. And I said, well, I thought this would be the place to come from. I said, I was giving you a chance to, I asked you a real question. I was giving you a chance to show your intelligence, but apparently this isn't supposed to come to for an exchange of an intelligent conversation.
I've yet to have a calm, rational conversation with anyone from the Biden side because I just haven't had one yet. And I find that troubling because, hey, Bruce, how you doing? I'm Bruce too. How are you? Welcome.
Hi.
So, what I was saying was that we could talk for hours and hours and hours about all the good that Trump has done. All you have to do is look at his accomplishments. He's done more in 40-something months than...
But they've never heard about it.
No.
And they've never heard about it, and they don't want to hear about it. And they are so full of fear and so full of hate that they cannot wrap their minds around a rational, most of them, I'm not going to say everybody, they can't wrap their mind around a rational thought. And so I think we just, I want to have like a big, like a tapping thing to help people to deal with their stress and anxiety. And again, they could be from either camp,
Melysa, this is a very difficult time. There's no doubt about it. It's a time when on both sides, it's very confusing. People don't know what to think. I don't know how sure the Biden supporters are, knowing that there's lawsuits all over the country.
They don't know.
I don't know how sure they are that this is a slam dunk, number one. Also, there's so many things that are coming to light. For instance, I don't know how many people are aware, hold on one second, that the voting machines that are all under question are all the major stockholder in the company that owns all these voting machines that are all malfunctioning. Do you know who the major...
Somebody told me Pelosi, but I had previously heard Obama.
Pelosi is the major stockholder of the company that is that owns these voting machines.
Right, and China supposedly gave Pelosi I don't know, I'm going to say hard drive, but some kind of data on all the dirt they had on everybody. So if she's in a position to do something, you think that, we've been hearing from channeled sources, spiritual sources for a while, that the darkness was going to be leaving the planet and they were going to be pulling every trick in the book. and that they were going to be really fighting with everything they have. Can you imagine? It's like do or die. And, you know, you're the bad guys. You're going to think to do whatever you possibly can to pinch whoever you possibly can to, you know, make what you want to have happen. And imagine between Epstein and that girl he was with and the Hillary documents, and people come out of the woodwork saying, hey, we got more information on Benghazi or here or there, or the people coming from China and our sick, twisted hero, Hunter Biden, who like leaves stuff in places, you know, it's almost like the negative, they don't see that they're connected to source. So they have to pull and push and hurt people to get all people to make things happen the way they have to make it happen, not feeling connected to source. And then the people who are, you know, trying to do the right thing, it's almost as if, and that can be, you know, subjective, whatever, but the people who are counting on their connection to source to help them to go to a better place, source and angels and guides, or whoever you want to call them, it's almost like things happen naturally. I mean, how does Hunter Biden leave these like really important things at some little shop in Delaware? I mean, that is divinely inspired somehow. So, you know, there's a lot of forces at work here, and I just see my role as helping to keep people to stay calm in both camps.
Yes, the best thing that we can all do is to stay calm, because this is not over. The mainstream media, who are completely on board with getting rid of Trump, they can kind of try whatever they want because they're the mainstream media. It doesn't make
and
it
they don't want to
true.
get busted. They know they're busted. They're trying to buy some time, but they know they're busted.
And the more illegal things that they do, the more illegal things that they're doing. And, you know, the one thing I think about a lot is, you know, we've heard some things, and this group can be about talking about whatever you want to talk about. But we've, you know, Lauren and I know, we've spent time in a place called Damanhur in Italy. We lived there for 3 months. And we've heard about space travel. You know, there's been tons of movies on space travel. Time travel. And, you know, we've heard that Trump is either a time traveler or there's people around him who are time travelers, because every single thing that the kind of opposition has done, he's handled. This comes up, boom, he takes care of it. This comes up, boom, he takes care of it. And go ahead.
And another thing is he knows these people. He had to be who he had to be to get where he is. But a lot of these people thought he was on their side. He probably knew what they talk about and what their plans are and what they're using here and there. They probably discussed it. They probably told him a lot of this stuff over the years too, whether or not you believe he was a time traveler or no. Yeah, he knows these people. Everyone thinks he's one of these people. And so they talk about strategies and this and how do you do this and this. You know, that's where all that, you know, backroom off-color guy talk can come in handy sometimes, because these people think that he's worse than them. So they probably don't mind, you know, telling them how they go about doing things. So he knew some from that direction as well, I think.
So we have a question from the chat room, and they're saying, so you're 100% sure that Trump will contest it all the way to the Supreme Court? It's his Trump card.
Trump is ready to trump him. Yeah, I am 99.9% sure. And I'll tell you what else, because I've been doing, I do intuitive readings and energy healing mainly. And so through my own intuitive readings, I mean, I don't watch TV and those kind of things, but I wasn't like really that big on Trump. I was just like, you know, this stuff, if I don't look at it, I find it really doesn't affect me too much.
I remember.
So through my own readings and people desperately asking me questions about Trump and did he do this and did he do that? Is he going to do this? Did he hurt that person or whatever? And I looked through it and I was like, no, that's not the situation. That's not the situation I see at all. Plus, put together with years I've been listening to channeled information. They've been saying for a long time that the negative energy is leaving the planet and there's going to be a big fight about it. But, you know, if we keep our energy up You know, I'm doing some classes on the importance of raising our energy, keeping our energy up and smoothing over the top of it. Okay, so why not stay calm and relaxed and, you know, hopeful or just peaceful right now because we know Trump's going to do something and the table's going to turn? Or even if Biden wins, why can't we just allow ourselves to be peaceful and humble and relaxed during this time? In any case, it's going to serve our own mentality and our own health and our own relationships to try to make peace with it. But the way I'm making peace with it, because of all I've been told through the years and all I've learned this year, is to keep hopeful, knowing that this is part of the plan. It's all part of a production. I know it sounds weird hearing just me say it, but I've heard so many people say it from so many parts of the world through like the spiritual directions as far as channeling and that sort of thing, and evidence. I mean, I've seen a lot of this Hunter Biden stuff, just a tiny little bit that they put out so far, and it's not going to be cool when these people then they think, oh, that's just his son or whatever, but they have evidence to the contrary, and we know that. And I was super frustrated. How come they didn't come out with it before the election? But like someone was saying, you know, let the bad people continue to do bad, because now they think they won. They're going to be even more lax, and they'll be even more, you know, likely to show their hands and whatnot. But I've been feeling for over 7 years. I told someone 7 years ago that there's the layer, like people, say for example, the military or politics. People who came in politics had to be a certain way to get where they are up under the top people. But when that top crusty, awful layer comes up the top, these people underneath, they don't hold the same mindset of the people who were above them. And when those people aren't there anymore, I feel like there's like a whole new plan. I feel like it's going to be a whole new world. I can't tell you what it looks like, but I feel that a new earth being born is very energetic. I think this is the month that a lot of energy is going to happen for the new earth being born. And I think if we can just, you know, they think Biden win, great. Can you guys be peaceful now? Relax. And we think Trump is going to win. Okay, so we can be peaceful now and we can relax. Why not? I think this month is a great month for a lot of the new earth energy coming. And it's just something you just tap into and feel. I feel the change. I feel by next March, we're all going to be out from under the density that we're under right now. And this is just the beginning of the cleanup. This war's been going on for a long time. What we're seeing right now is just the bit that's, you know, coming up to be cleaned off. But I think it is going to be cleared out. I really, 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 really feel strongly about that. And if it's not, well, then we've gotten a lesson in how to maintain our calmness and our peacefulness in the face of anything, really.
I think the legal thing is going to happen. I mean, we can't just abandon the Constitution because ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC say, sorry, we're abandoning what we know is right, and we're pushing this whole agenda forward.
They're just trying to delay the inevitable, which is when the information comes out, when the pictures come out, when all the stuff comes out about stuff that they got caught up in, whether it has to do with children or have to do with who knows what else. I hope, I don't want to find out actually. But when all these people, they're afraid of something, because, you know, I heard even 20 years ago that the guy who was head of Cuba had dirt on everybody. Hillary Clinton, he had pictures of this, he had basically dirt on everybody, because when you have dirt on them, you can twist them by the short hairs, as they say. But so all these people, they've been places, they've done things that people don't really, you know, they don't want it to get out. So now they're in the cuff around the neck and they're fighting for their lives. So all these people on TV, you know, they have the ability to affect the mentality of people at this moment. But as they start getting like yanked out of their positions, out of their situations, then there'll be people who will step forward and start telling the truth. This is just going to be a weird 6 weeks, maybe.
You know, one of the things that I've wondered, because I've been in and out of the entertainment industry, as you know, really since 1993, even 10 years out in Los Angeles. And it was very strange for me out there because I sort of didn't fit in anywhere. I make a joke about it, which I'm not.
That was a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm finding out now it's a good thing that I didn't fit in anywhere. But I found out the way it's done, the way they get people, good people, involved with their dark plan. And it has to do with 3 words. The first word is to bribe someone. Okay? Now, all anyone has to do to bribe someone is to find out what they really want. Let's say they're actors. They want to be famous. They want to be a celebrity. They want to be in the movies. They want to be on TV. Let's say it's a young guy, a stockbroker, who wants to be a hedge fund guy. They know exactly what to offer him to give him a little bit of a rise up, to get him up to the next step. They know exactly what they have to do to the actor to give
what
that.
They have to do, what they have to do to him. You're right. They're not always putting the cheese in front of somebody. They just have to put the cheese in front of them long enough to get them to the hotel room full of hookers and alcohol and whatever else they got going on. But in corporations, a lot of times when the new guy comes on board, they, you know, it's a popular thing people talk about, joke about all the time. They just bring him to Las Vegas, they get him drunk, take pictures of him with hookers, and now he belongs to them.
So here's the steps in 3 steps. The first one is to bribe them with whatever it is. I've been hearing that there are so many Asian women that is available to that whole world that they use that as a bribe. Here's this beautiful girl, to some of the power hungry or whatever. Then they get them addicted to that. Step 2 is to give them what they want, what they adore. And the second step is to get them addicted to it. And then the third step, after they're addicted and there's no going back, is to trap them with video, with documents, so that they will be trapped in their system. And even, you know, I heard just the other day, I don't have to mention his name, but there's one Supreme Court judge, I think I heard it today, who has been going against all of the kind and loving ways and has been making some judgments that some of us are just shaking our heads at. And it makes it seem like he's under the influence of the dark forces. And I just found out that it's possible that he adopted 2 children not so legally. So he's got 2 kids, and when the wrong people found out that he has 2 kids,
yeah,
they used that against him.
Absolutely. This is not new. This is absolutely not new. And also you know, this guy who was the head of the Patriots, remember he got caught in the little Asian place.
Right here in Jupiter, right here in Jupiter.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. I just named my dog that. Anyway, so maybe that was their way of trying to hook him too, but he was like, I'd rather take the fall than be with you guys. It sounds like that was a potential situation. But for the most part, I mean, I've done business with people from China. It's all about the spa. When they go to China, they take you to the spa, and the spa, a lot of things happen at the spa. So they said, well, we want to invite you, but the spa's not really for women. I'm like, well, that's not a bad thing, because I'm sure that they're, you know, getting it over, you know, the Masons, the not the Dixons,
exactly, the Masons,
the Shriners, all these people, they have hierarchy based on, you know, I can yank your chain because I'm higher than you. You have to do what I say because you're lower than me. You know, like this has been going on for so long, and I just feel like I feel like there's a big dark web encircling the earth. Biden and his son almost like offering to be the loose string that helps to yank all this web of darkness off the planet. But it had to do with Hillary. Thank you, Hillary. Had to do with Possad, all those people that have been getting caught over the years. And I was really frustrated. Like, how come the FBI had this information and they didn't get it out before the election? Well, maybe because that had that information, that they were able to be forward thinking on how to handle the election in a way to let them hang themselves, you know? So there's like 19 sides to every story, at least. And I kind of like to think that, you know, I've known people from all walks of life in this world, and nothing on TV is real or what they say, or at least it can be, but then the other stuff that they say as if it's true and it's not, we don't know the difference. So it's not necessarily the truth. They're not required to report the truth. It's basically entertainment, so they can whatever will make people stick their face to the TV, so when the ads come on, that's where they make their money. So what you see on TV isn't necessarily true. It can be, but consider that it's mainly entertainment. And it's too bad that the people who are working so hard and used to, for eons going, or not eons, but for many years, going to certain TV stations to get their news, and all of a sudden people in those channels have been compromised because of, all their other outside associations, and now they have suddenly decided that they're going to be on the side that's going to protect them, not the side that's going to expose them.
So there's a couple more people that have come into the room. If you want to be on camera and you have a question you want to ask, or if you want to share what you know, absolutely more than glad to bring you on. You can raise your hand, and that will get the attention, and you can ask your question, and just ask your question. And if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. But
I was not ready to be on camera, but
I know,
if it's
fine.
to help people, I want to help people.
Exactly. See, you and I were both Aries, and we both love helping. We both love serving in a fun and interesting way. And so, that's why
I went into burning houses to help save people. So, I mean, we haven't done that, hopefully not. But, they say Aries, you have to risk being a fool or a failure. And for the mental health and well-being of people, I'll risk being a fool. I'll risk being maybe on the wrong side. I don't know. If I'm the wrong one, then I'm going to have to take a lot of my own advice anyway. So
I feel so deeply that we are not on the wrong side of history on this one.
Yeah.
So deeply.
That's why we're here.
I can't turn my back on it.
Right.
And they said it would look dark. It would look dingy. It would look terrible.
It's going to be very dramatic, very upsetting. It's going to be a complete and total mess. But that's what we're saying. Get the popcorn, kids, because we're just going to watch this play out. It doesn't have to involve us unless we want to. When we go to the movie, we know it's a movie. We're sitting there with our popcorn and soda. We know it's a movie, and to the degree that we decide to engage with it emotionally and believe it's real is to the degree that we feel totally affected by it. And I realized, I remember seeing that movie Chicago. I realized when I watch a movie, I leave the movie feeling like I'm one of the actors. Why I can't watch mafia movies, but then watching the movie for Chicago, for a fun example, after I left there, I was like high kicking all down Lincoln Road. I was like, I think I've become one of the characters because I'm watching it and I really get engaged in it. So I can only watch comedies, because the other type of movies, I really absorb it. I realized that a long time ago. So I kind of don't watch TV since like 97. And I don't see too many movies because it really affects me on a deep level. Like, I believe I'm one of the characters, and I can see how people watching the news every day. Of course you can form opinions when you're only getting, one side of it. I've been telling people, anytime the media, like, did you ever see this before? The media only supports one side. Anytime the media only supports one side, you really got to question yourself, question what's going on, but they don't, because they're just programmed with hate and fear, and we're gonna wear masks, we're gonna get vaccines, we're gonna hate Trump, and we're gonna hate all the Republicans, and we're gonna be mean to our family, even on the day when they tell us Biden won. What's going on? These people are not in their right minds. We have to have compassion for them.
In the past, when we did not rise up against the dark, and nothing happened, so people can say, oh, nothing is gonna happen, they're gonna win. But you know what? This is a different time and era and age where the energy of this world is rising. There are so many people that are aware that they are rising from a 3D, a third dimensional level, where there's anger and jealousy and boredom and greed and jealousy and all this kind of stuff. But there's, instead of thousands, there's tens of millions of people that are aware that they want to move up to a higher level of existence. And so now, when we confront with love the dark, the light will win. When in the past, if they weren't confronted, the dark kept winning. But when you confront the dark with light, and there's enough of it, the light is going to win. And that's why I'm so sure that this time that Trump will prevail, no matter how many times they say the other guy has won, because legally, constitutionally, he hasn't won. And that's the facts.
In spiritual circles, they've been saying for a long time, even in this book I have from the 70s, from the Saint Germain Association, there's this magic number, 144,000. And they said only 144,000 people on the planet of 6 or 7 billion need to basically raise their energy to counteract the dark energy that's on the planet. And there's way more than 144,000. And the thing about it is, imagine being in a dark room. If someone lights a little tiny match, it's not a dark room anymore, or at least most of it's not a dark room. So imagine imagine the planet, and then imagine 144,000 people around the planet turning on their lights. It's not a dark room anymore. And then those lights, by their mere presence, turn on other lights and other lights and other lights. So it's the light, when someone stands up, it almost gives other people the permission to do the same. And then we light up the world with our mere presence. And I like to tell people, my clients and things, that the fact that you were born on this planet, I like to say we beat out at least 30 billion sperm to get a shot at this life on the planet. So just being born here, you've already won. And being born here, you anchored light on the planet. Whatever you want to do with your entire life is up to you. You already did your part for kind of like, the universe or God or whatever. You volunteered to bring your light to the planet. You're here, you anchored light, whatever else you want to do, have at it.
There's people that are continuing to come into the room. And what I'm doing when you come in is you're here, but I'm cutting off the video because I choose to either have one or two people on rather than a whole room full of people, because I want this video to go out there for many, many people who are concerned about what's going on. So there'll only be one or two people on the video at the same time. But if you have a question, raise your hand. If you want to be on video, raise your hand and you can ask or you can answer questions. I'm not just limiting this to me or to Melysa.
No, but I have an answer for anything. If anyone wants to ask me anything, I have an answer for everything.
Well, you know what? You and I know that since March, you've been studying, and Mike, I've been going at this for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, learning what's going on. And guess what? I've learned a lot. I have a lot of insight. You have a lot of insight. There's people in the room that are listening right now that have a lot of insight. And it has to do with raising your vibration, right, staying positive, right, and knowing all will be well. And yes, even if the other guy wins, all will be well. But I don't think it's going to go that way.
There's a grand design, yes.
I think there is a grand design. And all the enlightened people I speak to, when I hear that the other party has taken the word God out and the other party has taken the word love out, and all they talk about is something else. And then you have a party of people where you see the American flags and love and God and love and God and love, we love. And to me, if the guardian angels are having anything to do with our future, there's going to be a way where this is not done, that there's a lot further to go. And I keep hearing from different people in the know that we're going to get a great gift around Christmas time. So yes, it's very possible that this will not be settled until Christmas.
But that's okay. Let's just enjoy the holidays in the meantime. There's no reason to not be peaceful. let the Democrat people be peaceful. They got what they think they wanted, and let the other people be peaceful because we know something's going to change. And so I think we have to have compassion for them, even though they're being gloating and trying to rub people's nose in it and being kind of mean on Facebook. People, I'm surprised, are really going there, but they've been programmed hate and fear, hate and fear. And years ago, I was not into Republican things. I'm not for guns. I'm
Me
definitely not for
neither.
fracking. I'm not for problems with the environment. I am for women's choice and things like that. I wish we could vote on the topics and not the people. I want to have like a Star Wars like Federation more, something like that. But it might have, years ago I could have justified all these. I didn't say God. I say universe because I realized that God can be a hot topic for people because we've all been taught things, and a lot of people have been disappointed of their idea of God because they had ideas that didn't bring them happiness in their heart and their life. They thought of God of this mean dad figure, and maybe they didn't have good relationships with their dad, and they put that onto God, and they didn't either. I believe more, and I say God more now. Like I know God is like the thing or source energy, however you want to call it. I call it universe. I don't drive around with a flag with a universe on it, but I say universe. And, years ago, you'd see all these people with flags and think, oh, yeah, they're just like, Dixie Cowboys or something. You think they're just like a little extreme, but they're expressing their excitement. They're doing what is coming natural to them. And therefore, they're on a higher level. They're in a higher happiness. They're in a higher energy. So they're more likely to manifest. But these people who have been taught fear and hate and fear and hate, they're not in the manifestation mode, so they might be in a, hey, we can trick you mode. Look over here, don't look over there.
Right.
Meet this guy, and when they show you like thousands and millions of snippets of a guy saying something and then telling you what the story is without getting the whole story, or even, Trump doesn't have the most likable personality, but to get where he is, he wasn't exactly going to be something different. So he is where he is. I think he's doing a good job. I think he is for the people, and that's according to my own intuitive readings with a lot of different people. And I do light language, and I ask the light language, like, what the heck's going on here? And I see Trump up on a cliff, and I see Biden slowly sliding down into the abyss. But because I initially see Trump and Biden, kind of like Biden falling off of his arm, Trump's arm. But on a soul level, these people had to sign up for this, like Hunter Biden. Like that's why I call him the sick, twisted hero, because I think on a soul level, he made some agreement to come in and play this role and be this person who's opening up like a whole, giving the world proof of stuff. And for that, I'm thankful. But I think things are going to come out about him that's going to be really uncomfortable, and who knows if it'll ever.
Super uncomfortable. They've done. There's so much proof that the other candidate has taken money time and time and time again over the decades. He's taken money as part of his political job.
Yeah, it's not unusual. And these people protect each other. And, these are networks. These are networks that have been going on forever. People to get people. Like, for example, when I was growing up, my friend's father came from Italy. And when he moved to Italy, to the area we were in, the mafia showed up on his doorstep. You want to work with us or you don't want to work with us? He said, no, I don't want to work with you. But people had the option, and some of them were too afraid to say no. And so this has been going on for a really long time. It's just been the way of things. But I think we're ready for a new higher consciousness around the world. I mean, you're having Trump rallies in other countries. Like, what is the point of that? They're not even in the election. But I heard something the other day that kind of rang true for me. They were the last, and this sounds a little weird, off-planet news, that we're the last planet in this section of the universe to raise. And so I think a lot of us came to the planet to be here at this time, this moment, this month, this next 6 weeks, because we're on a planet that's transforming to a higher energy. And it's going to look really messy at first, but then it's going to be wonderful.
Well, it's going to look messy because we haven't been there before. And many times when you haven't been someplace before, it's a little messy until you kind of straighten things out and get things in order. So you put it perfectly. You talked about the rallies. I have 2 videos out on my website about the 2 rallies I went to. One was a boat rally and one was a street rally right here in my neighborhood. And the boat rally was so spectacular, so much energy. I was so elevated. I was as high as a kite. I don't think any drug could
Because
get a
you're in
person
that
as
energy.
high as the energy where people on the boat and the people going by in the boats and the music in the background, the people behind me watching, the people in front of me behind me, the music. And it was just incredible. Then I went to a street rally. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. And all the people that were honking their horns, and then
It's
the other people
exciting.
that were going like this, right? So you had people who were going like that, and then you had people and celebrating, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's some different kind of energy that was being shown. And every time I have a conversation with someone of the other party, they're so angry and so bitter, and they curse, and it's all
Yes.
about put downs.
They're
But
very disruptive.
I want you to know, remember what you were going to say. Bruce says, another Bruce in the room, you're giving me hope again. Last night, I was pretty depressed with the possible outcome. Your energies are elevating me. My source validated this. Higher levels of consciousness is the goal. Yes, this planet is the last to go to 5G. And then Jeremy said, I should read what he said before I read it out loud. Trust the plan. Trust divine providence. All is just going on perfectly. Have faith. I think that's beautiful. And one of the other things that was mentioned before, if we could sort of get maybe back a little bit to the actual results of the election, that was from Shelley. Shelley's coming in from Rachel Rose. Trust the plan, trust divine providence. All is going to be perfect. Have faith. And that's from our mutual friend, Shelley.
Yeah, another Aries.
Absolutely. So it's a matter of staying on track, not getting too carried away, certainly not watching TV. All the people, we went to a victory party last Tuesday night, and a bunch of us went to a victory party, and we all turned on Fox because we looked at Fox as the friendliest of the channels.
Yeah.
And we couldn't believe
I heard
what they were saying. By 9 o'clock, they said, oh, the Democrats have taken over the Senate. The Democrats have taken over the Congress. And all this disinformation and misinformation. So all of us said, maybe we should go over to CNN. Maybe they're more factual. And
no, stop watching TV.
Exactly. But we were at a party. So then we heard about Newsmax. I believe it's called Newsmax.
I heard about it.
All of us went over there. And I've got to tell you that it was a lot more structured and a lot more in line. But they're the only one, Newsmax is the only one that has not declared a victory for Biden, because they know what's at stake here. They know that
it's so close.
This has to be done by constitutional law. They know if someone was ahead. I don't know how many of you saw Trump's speech 2:20 in the morning right after the election.
Yeah, I've seen it.
He went on to make sure that every one of those numbers was stated. He was ahead by 800,000 in one place, 700,000 in another, 600,000 in another place, 500,000 in another place, 200,000 in another place. And by the next morning, all of those numbers between 2 in the morning and 6 in the morning miraculously changed. They came across millions and millions of votes for Biden with no votes for Trump.
Right. Well, this has been so close. You know, I'm astonished that it would be this close. I mean, people really want to get vaccines. They haven't been, and this is why I got kind of mouthy on Facebook lately, is because when people don't have access to information, and they're just getting bombarded with hate and fear and hate and fear. They're not getting access to information that they have a right to access, but because they've gone to trusted sources who they thought served them in the past. But even these other news stations we thought were pretty good that are flipping, they don't want to lose. They have to say something for their programming. I mean, we can't take it personally. Who knows if one of them got caught with their name on some piece of stuff, or maybe someone told them they got caught, maybe they didn't. But they have to get the ratings too. That's how they live and die, right? Because that's how they know how to charge for their commercials. So they need to get the ratings, and if they don't say anything, people are going to be turning the channel for that news. So I can see that they're going to have to say stuff. They're not there to please anyone particular. They're there to make sure they get the ratings, so they can charge money based on the ratings. So we have to understand they are not legally required or morally required to deliver us objective news. That's not
The truth.
it's
They don't have to
entertainment.
deliver
It's
the truth.
entertainment. And what is it they said? I saw a quote, and I don't know if this is true, but it was interesting. A quote from George Orwell. He called them the think police, but these days they call them fact checkers. We don't know who's behind the corporations or who's behind the fact checkers. We don't know. We've gotten kind of lazy, and I got into health and healing 20 years ago to help people to get rid of pain in their body naturally, and have miraculous things happen, miraculous stuff. They call it alternative healing, but it's really like not taking pharmaceuticals and medication because it might not be necessary. If it is, great. I'm not balking it, but it's but people got used to taking a pill to make something go away. They don't want to have a conversation or do any work. They just want to take a pill. We got lazy. Oh, well, this one says that, and the TV tells me this, and they don't dig deeper. They've gotten so used to, oh, well, my orange juice has vitamin C and D in it, so I guess it's good for me. I'm getting my 2 vitamins every week. Like people, because we have to run on the rat race, running like crazy all the time. We do it is easy for us. We don't always have the time to dig deeper. And so we're calling the Democrats and the Biden people, we might be talking about good and evil, at least we feel that way. That's the fight going on the planet on the larger scale. But those people aren't necessarily, they're not the bad people. They were just influenced by the bad people. And we really need to have compassion for them, especially during this time. And, maybe almost be delighted if we can, and letting them think that they won, because isn't it nice to let these people finally experience a moment of happiness? They've been so like, for how long now, since this whole virus thing started. And if we can take a little bit of pleasure in seeing these people be happy, if they even have that capability in them anymore. I seriously don't know how we're going to deprogram them. So again, when I'm offering healing and things like that, I'm trying to build a bridge. Like, let's find something we can all get along on. We all want to heal. We all want to heal our anxiety and our stress and this sort of thing. So I'm trying to, I'm a little bit, one-sided on things, but I'm trying to find middle ground for people that we can both agree on some things, because these people are going to need, I hate to say deprogramming, but they really have been trained. Their energy system, their nervous system has been trained for fear and for hate and everything like that. And it doesn't look today. It's only been a couple hours, but it doesn't look like they're going to come off of that vibe any too soon.
Yeah, you're very right. I don't know a single Trump person that wishes poorly of any Biden lover. I don't know of a single one.
No, but they're being mean to us. They're really being mean and trying to get us off base. And it's too bad, but imagine that's what they've been programmed with for at least 6-7 months.
So, kind of getting back to the election results, one of the interesting things that I found, boy, I have so much information. I can actually share a lot of this on a screen share, and I will maybe in a little bit. But one of the things that some of the online reporters are coming up with is that they're looking at the numbers of people that are voting in each state. And most of the time, over the last 20 years, at a presidential election, they've had 40 to 50 to 60% of the registered voters who can vote, voted. That's kind of just the way it's been. On a super high side, it's 60%. Well, if you look at the numbers, that's been the actual numbers of people who voted, you will find that all those, especially those swing states where Trump miraculously lost all of his leads, even though he was ahead by hundreds of thousands, what you're going to find is that not only did 70% of the people show up to vote, not only did 80%, not only did 90%, not only did 100% of the people show up to vote, but 105%.
I know, 105.
Not just in one state. In a few states,
So that's
over 100% of people registered to vote voted,
uh-huh.
and all the other ones came in at high 90s.
Yep. But that's not suspicious at all. And you know, but it's a sign to the rest of us that something is going on. And I think, you know, it's hard because we don't have control of the media, so it's hard for us to get together on a mass scale. But I am impressed by the pockets of people that I met that I haven't even, some people I'm just meeting and some I hadn't seen in a long time. Very impressed with the pockets of people who are on the same team, because some of these people were even single by themselves in a sea of other people who didn't feel or think the same way as them, but they see and feel something inside them that tells them that what was going on wasn't right, and they really believed in themselves. And this is what I like about a lot of I'm calling them Trump people, but people who are not on the side of the TV watching, perhaps. I posted something on Facebook. I said, isn't it interesting? It seems to me that one side is very emotionally disturbed and upset. You know, they can't seem to say a nice word to somebody, but the other side seems very calm and collected. And I said, I also notice that one side tends to tune into the TV pretty much for all their information, and the other side doesn't really go to the TV for their information, or at least not all of it. So I saw that these very strongly as parallels. And also so when I run into people, I talked to a friend I haven't talked to in years, and she's like, I need help. I'm seeing the news, and I know this can't be true, you know, with the Biden thing, and she's on the Trump side, and she never mentioned it to me before, but she's out there struggling by herself to keep herself in a good place. I'm like, no, it's okay. There's more people like you, where, you know, you're going in a good direction. Listen to your inner sense, you know, and your inner senses will tell you, like, is this for real? Is this not for real? You know what? I don't know. So let me just go inside and focus on my own vibe right now. And I think this is the gift of this time. You know, people are telling me 72 days, 72 days. And I'm like, great, we got 72 days to, you know, go inside, manage our own vibration, keep our vibration up. Because imagine, we have the opportunity now, if we take this time to kind of ignore them, let them be happy, let us be happy, but work on ourselves to keep ourselves balanced. So when those people fall and hit the ground hard, which they're gonna have to, or I mean, hopefully they're not going to, but they're gonna be very disappointed in who they've become and who they've put their faith in, and they're gonna be very disappointed. But if we take this time to focus on keeping the balance within us, we can kind of hold space and hold energy for them as they go through their tumble, which they may go through at some point. And I hate to say hopefully, but you know, like I said, I'm 99.9% sure that this is going to be a transformation for all of us. And
Yes.
For those who are a little bit ahead of the curve, or for those of us who are like okay with not being, you know, not calling ourselves the winners right now, or not calling, you know, whatever side we're on, I think this is a time for us to go inside, pay attention to our own vibe. You know, whatever else is going on, hey, that's cool. Hey, that's cool. Don't engage with anybody else. The earth is really, there's a new earth being born right now. I can feel it. I can feel the energy. Last week I heard almost like an egg cracking. I like the analogy is like when you put the marshmallow in the campfire and it turns all crunchy and you know, brown on the outside, and then as you pull the outside crunchy part off, you get a new marshmallow on the inside. That's
Love
kind
that.
of
Love
like
that.
what's going on right now as far as the new earth being born. And so if we can just, you know, resonate with that and hold space in ourselves and maybe tune into the earth energy, like I just feel everyone just taking a breath, just tune into the earth, just feel that energy. It feels, my chest starts vibrating. It's like nothing I've ever felt. And we have the opportunity to embody that in ourselves right now, and to focus our energies on ourselves. We don't have to give energy to too much outside of us. Some of it, yes, but we don't have to engage with people in fighting. Just be like, yeah, congratulations. Yeah, Biden won. Great. I'm so happy that you're finally happy. This is great. You know, we'll find some little thing to ride a higher vibe on, but just to focus on our inner self. And when we hold space like that, it's like we're holding space for the earth, what the earth itself is going through right now as a planet. And then also holding space for all those other people to kind of be comfortable, because they're going to go through some rude awakenings. But we didn't come on this planet to have like a boring existence. I really think we came on this planet to have the gamut of emotions, to like bang around in these bodies while we're in them. I think the mind is the non-local. I believe in life after life. And so this is kind of where I'm coming from, because I think we're not just this one life, this one spirit, this one existence. I think that there's more going on. And so, you know, if we can just focus on our own energy, focus on bringing our energy up, you know, even if you're making tea or coffee, just, you know, with your favorite spoon and your favorite cup, sitting in your favorite chair, or looking out and seeing, just find little things through the day to appreciate, to bring your vibration up. I mean, we can all find something to look at to bring our vibration down, but we can make a choice to bring our energy up. And yes, so we can even, like, I'd like to tell people, think of 5 things you can appreciate right now. There was a day when I could only think of 3, you know, trees, food, and air. But that was a long time ago. But if we find 5 things to appreciate that we can truly appreciate, that brings our energy up. And then we have this nice energy. We can send it to anywhere on the planet, this nice appreciation or love energy. Send it to anywhere on the planet where we think it'll do some good, or it's kind of like, you know, you have a glass of muddy water, and the more clear water you add to the muddy water, it starts to become less and less muddy. So if there's a situation in your life or on earth, on the planet, anywhere that you feel is kind of dense and muddy, just send your appreciation or your love to that place. And just imagine you're helping to clear the density, or clear the water in that muddy glass. Because I think we're all on the planet, not for a reason of the daily things we do so much. That's just like, you know, our bonus for getting to come here and anchor light, and to shine our light, and bring our love here. But find ways to bring ourselves up and then share it with people, whether they know it or not.
You are a superstar. I've always known that, and I knew that we would work together at some point. But let me just say, wow.
It's hard to turn me off, I know.
People are loving what you're saying.
Oh, good, good.
Absolutely. Bruce chimes in and says he hasn't watched TV since 1994. And he said that he got awakened by Mark Levin when Obama was in office. He says he's an energy healer as well.
Ooh.
And he draws in the universal energies and redirects where requested. Said something about alkaline water. Well, just, I want to get back to why we're even here in this room today, and why people should have the positiveness about what might happen in the future when it comes to this turning around. It's very, very simple. There was a question back here, not a question, a statement back here in the very beginning, where it said, notice how Trump has been at 214 electoral college votes, and only Biden's total increased in the last few days. Well, if you put the numbers together, if you put all of those states together that I mentioned about 10 minutes ago, that Trump said he was ahead 800,000 in Georgia, and 700,000 in Pennsylvania, and 600,000, I'm making these up, in Michigan, and he was up in Wisconsin, and he was North Carolina, and he believes he's up in Arizona and Nevada. He doesn't even need to win the majority of those to win the election. If he just wins about 4 or 5 of the 7 swing states, he can win. And that's why they should not be announcing him as a winner because in the states that they have him down for losing, he's down by 20,000 votes. He's down by 10,000 votes. That's ridiculous. And
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they do recounts, it's probably going to go up to that 500, 600, 700,000 where he's in the lead. And it would take no time at all for it's proven that those votes were real before nighttime came along and they added millions and millions of votes to the other party. And people have to realize this. This is not just some shot in the dark.
No, look how close it is. Look how close. There's a reason for that.
Under any circumstance, when it's this close, there has to be a recount.
There's always going to be. I mean,
Right.
both sides should have anticipated it. I don't understand why the Biden people are like, Hey, if you want, like, I believe, and I hate to say Biden and Trump people, but we got to call them something. So, you know, it seems to me the Trump people, if we won, we would just be happy. But the Biden people won, and they go on Facebook or they call me up, and the first thing they want to do is rub your nose in it, like, you're going to have to get mandatory vaccines, or you're going to have to wear a mask for life. And I say, yeah, okay, but I'm going to wait till next year if you don't mind. You know, so I'm trying not to, and one person got really upset at me because I said, listen, you're having a good day. Congratulations. I'm having a good day. So we're both having a good time. Great. We're finally on the same team. But he kept wanting to, and he couldn't get me upset, and he hung up on me. And I'm like, why are you hanging up on me? Because I'm not getting upset at what you're telling me. Why? You know, but they've been soaked in that mentality for so long. And again, focus on ourselves, because that's what's going to help the world. Focus on keeping our energy up, because that's what's going to help our fellow Americans and our fellow humans. Like, we might not have the capacity, or, you know, we might want to engage once in a while. We're not saints. We came on this earth to have a little boom, boom, boom too, and enjoy it and enjoy the show. And, you know, we can do whatever we want, but also to focus on raising our own energy. We're holding a space of compassion for ourselves and for these other people, because they might take a hard tumble when they realize all this stuff that's been going on. Not only they can't support, I mean, you know, conceivably, this is what we're imagining is going to happen. So not only did they follow this man tooth and nail, wrecking some of their personal and family relationships with people, but turns out they're on the wrong team. And not only on the bad side, shall we say, they've been misled, and they just got into the wrong channel of information. That's all it is. They just got into the wrong. They're not bad people. They were ignited. They were programmed to hate. They were programmed to hate Trump, and hey, they can't help it if they just start naturally applying it to everybody else. But we just have to have compassion for them, not let them get off base, you know, almost like, I hate to say this, but be like, oh, you know, poor them, you know. But, you know, if we can hold and raise this energy within us. And I know good people who are Biden supporters, and I know even other intuitives who are Biden supporters. And, you know, I can't see that. I can only go with what's in my own heart. And I told them, listen, and people were calling me, who do I vote for? I said, go with who's in your heart. If you vote for who's in your heart, you're going to be doing the right thing, no matter who you feel, you know, because I think voting with our energy, or holding the energy that we're holding, is more important than whose name you put on the document, because things happen in the universe that are totally unexplainable. And when the majority of the people's energy is basically asking and expecting good things to happen, good things are going to happen. And we don't know if it's going to come from this guy or that guy, but because we're raising our energy, we know good things are going to happen. But these people are not, you know, they're kind of in a low energy right now. And who's to say that they'll turn it around? But, you know, they're going to need help. And we can just, in our own minds, say, you know, I'm doing my part for the world and for the universe because I'm holding a higher energy. Like, if you need an excuse, right? If you need another excuse, that's another excuse.
So I want to share another reason why so many of us in on the Trump team are so kind of still excited and so optimistic in the face of all this NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, MSNBC. Biden's the winner. He's declared the winner. Well, there's a problem here with saying that, because Trump and the whole group know about something called quantitative blockchain voting. And all of us have known about this for months and months and months, and I'm sure Trump has known about this for years. And I'm just getting the latest information now. And basically what this means is not every ballot will be accepted at the recount. Not every ballot. What will make a difference?
Well, the dead people aren't going to show up again, that's for
Dead
sure.
people, very good.
And those
Dogs,
piles, they had piles of, they also thought they had piles of fake IDs coming in through China and Mexico and stuff like that, but that's really not news. But you know, the people are finding them. I've seen so many, and I'm sure you've seen even more, but I've seen so many videos of people taking little videos of people doing bad things, you know, like there's always like a plant or something, somebody who decides that, hey, this isn't right, you know. And these are the people who are tapped and tuned into their hearts and their higher consciousness. And we're helping the other side, you know. I don't think we have to be mad at the Biden people. We just have to say, like, you know, they got into the wrong stream of information. And because all those channels you mentioned have their rapt attention, they're just plugged in, you know, and we're not going to be able to unplug them right now. So we just have to let them be. Their experience that they're choosing to have is not the experience we're choosing to have. We just have to be mindful of our own experience and not give them too much of our own energy. You know, keep our energy for ourselves right now. We got to go inside and decide who and how we want to be, like what energy we want to be on despite what's going on around us. And that's why I'm so impressed with the people who are kind of like struggling by themselves in the midst of all kinds of other negative information, that they knew that they wanted to keep on the higher energy, or keep plugged into the team that they felt in their heart was going to be the best way to go for humanity.
So just to continue with the voting thing, even my wife said, how are they going to be able to tell the right ones from the wrong ones? It's going to be extremely easy. All the legitimate, valid ballots that were sent out and sent back, or where people voted the day they're supposed to vote, they all had kind of a hidden watermark on there. And those are valid ballots. And they even had some microchips in there. And when my wife said, how can they there's so many millions of ballots, and how are they going to go through them?
12 states only, I heard.
Yeah, so, and the ones, of course, using the machinery by Pelosi. So anyway, when they go through the ballots, the computers that they bring in will be able to recognize the valid ballots from the invalid ones, the valid ones from the ones that were mailed in from China or that were printed by their Uncle Charlie.
I hope so.
So this is going to be the difference. When they get down to it, the good votes will go left, the bad ones will go right. They'll count the ones on the left, the valid ones, because you can't get 105% of the people voting. Can't happen. You can't get 100%. You can't get 90. You can't get 80. Of course we have to question
that. Of course we have to question that, you know, but let them have their day, because they're going to take a tumble. If the information that we've been exposed to comes out about these people that they've put all their trust and mental energy into, they're going to take a tumble. So you know what? Let them have their day right now. Let them have their whole month if they want to. It's 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It's going to be a whole new world. And the channelers are saying a whole new world, and we don't know what that's going to look like, but a whole new world, and certainly a whole new voting system. And I'm so happy that your story that you're telling, I was so relieved and happy to hear that. And when I heard that, it was kind of like that drop the mic thing. You're like, okay, game over, you know, drop the,
game over. It was ingrained.
I don't have to worry anymore.
You don't have to worry. It was ingrained into the system. And I remember Trump saying, or not Trump, but the guys that I follow on TV who know about all this stuff, they said the Democrats are going to spend all their money printing up all these ballots. The Chinese are going to send in millions of ballots. How can Biden get 70 million votes? I mean, I just don't understand it. But they're all going to kick out because they're not valid. And people are not going to worry.
I'm
People,
not going to worry. When I heard that, I stopped worrying because I said, you know what? That is divine guidance. And some channelers said we were going to hear a message before the election where there was going to be an announcement. And people have been really bummed out. They're like, when's the announcement? When's the announcement? Well, the announcement that they were tracking the votes, to me, that was a great announcement. I thought that was fantastic because that all of a sudden I felt like I could breathe again. I'm like, you know what? If they even did that for one voting thing, I'm happy. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about anything anymore. It's
that's right.
handled. It's
It's
handled.
it's all going to come out.
Hmm.
The light will prevail, and when it does come out, then that's when all the illegalities that are going on, all the fraud, it's all going to be exposed. And if you wonder why this big push, this big announcement that he's won, so many people at ABC, so many people at NBC, so many people at CBS, and all those places have been doing crimes against humanity by doing what they've been doing, by so badly
Yeah.
informing so many people. You know why people hate Trump so much? Because they watch these TV stations and all they do is bombard people with how horrible Trump is.
And he's not the type of person they're used to being a leader. You know, people are happy when, you know, we're happy when Obama shows up and he's looking all smooth, but you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on behind there. But if they come on and tell you something nice, which I've been in kind of in and on the outskirts of politics since I was a teenager, and I see what's on camera and what happens off camera are two different worlds. And so I never really was that engaged in TV to start with, you know, but then I realized I was too affected by it. So I just stopped watching. When Princess Diana died and I realized I watched TV for 12 hours straight for 2 weeks and I didn't know anything more on the last day than I did on the first day. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is sucking the life out of me. This is pointless. This is ridiculous. I'm not gonna, so I just stopped watching TV after that. But I'm really, you know, they said you know, that Project Looking Glass, which is really interesting if you want to look it up on in places. They said in 2012 the timelines converged, and so what I think the dark side didn't count on about the light side is whenever they try to make something really bad happen, say like 9/11, or whenever they make anything bad happen, such an outpouring of love comes from the humans. It's just a natural, like, you know, like Einstein, I think it was, who said there's always an equal and opposite reaction. So no matter how much darkness they try to create, the light, they create just as much light from creating the darkness. And I think they haven't anticipated that. The people trying to cause negativity on the planet, I don't think they anticipated that. And so no matter what bad they do, there's always going to be like good coming from it. It's like you can't help it. You can't stop it. That's the rules of the planet we're on, you know. That's what came with this game here. And so as long as we keep that in our hearts and minds and we manage our own vibration, I think we're going to rise above it. We just keep praying and giving, shining our own light, even if it's within ourselves. We don't have to go hit anybody else over the head. But I'm really happy about if they're able to track these votes and make good things happen. And they say nothing is going to be the same next year. Everything's going to change. You think these news stations are going to be able to stick around after they get accused of all these things?
Not at all. They're all going to be dismantled. The stations will still be there, but the bosses who are forcing all this stuff to happen, they're going to be taken out of there. And
Who's
it's going to
still
be,
want to, yeah, their credibility is going to be ruined no matter who is pulling the tricks in there. The credibility is going to be ruined. Who's going to want to work for them? You know, who's going to want to watch them? It's probably going to be a whole different situation. I have no clue what it's going to look like, but I just feel the density coming off the planet. I feel the density lifting. And, you know, I've also seen some other things that are kind of like supernatural that I won't really get into, but let's just say that there's been, I do feel that there's been darkness on the planet, you know, almost like feeding off the negative energy that's being created. And when there's less negative energy being created, whether it's from us or the other side, but let's not let them get all of us down. Let's, some of us still shine our light, because that's less negative energy on the planet. And therefore they're not going to want to be based here because they couldn't make it to their liking, shall we say. But just focus on bringing our own energy up. And if we want to bring our energy down, watch the news. And if you want to bring your energy up,
I watched the news until 8 months ago exactly, right around the middle of March, I stopped watching the news. You know what made me stop watching it? The death scoreboard. The scoreboard with all the deaths and all the illness.
Selling fear, because fear makes people watch TV, and people watching TV lets you charge more for commercials.
And when I saw that, I said, I'm done.
I'm
And
out.
I stopped watching news. I've been
Yeah.
so much
The Hunger
happier
Games.
ever since. And I've been instead working with people like you and Cindy and Shelley and so many other great people in the world that are
Well,
doing
thank
good
you.
work. And this has been really terrific.
Yeah, thank you so much. I didn't know this was going to happen. I wasn't prepared
neither.
for this.
What a nice surprise. You are again
Well, thank you.
a superstar of energy and of love. And I'm so glad that we got a chance to do this. Thank you, everybody who was in the room. Really appreciate it. And of course, thank you, everybody, for watching this. I hope people send this around to as many people as possible to help calm their nerves, and also to let them know that just because they're seeing something on television, it doesn't mean a thing. This is going to happen.
Right.
I am sure the right thing is going to happen, but
Right.
I'm also very sure that this is going to turn around, because the light is going to expose all that darkness.
Absolutely.
And I'm very, very excited about the future. And again, you said a year from now, we're going to be in a different world.
Everything.
It's going to be spectacular. And let's do a show again another time, Melysa, maybe in another couple of weeks. And maybe we'll have to calm people down all over again. So,
yeah, and if people want to be calmed down, or if they want to individually be calmed down, they can look for Melysa Mac, MELYSA MAC, on Facebook or my website, I suppose. Wellness for Busy People.
fantastic. I'm sorry I didn't ask you earlier. You know,
No,
everybody who I asked, all the energy workers I asked, said Trump would win. And
Oh,
Bruce is an energy worker. He said, my source always said Biden would lose. So all the energy workers are in line. There's no doubt in my mind that Trump is going to prevail, because it's the right thing. And again, if we back down, well, then the dark can take over. We're not backing down. We're just going to get bigger and bolder. And I'm really excited. Thank you, everybody. Thank
your
you.
energy
Melysa.
matters. Your energy matters.
Energy does matter. Bye-bye, everybody.